when when awakening occurs or awareness awakens, whatever, once awareness can identify itself as awareness without attribute, without attachment, because that's what's keeping awareness trapped, is attachment. Thinking that you need to think, feel, to know yourself, which of course is what creates the ego in the beginning. But when liberated from that, one doesn't identify themselves anymore by thought, feeling, body. One identifies himself as consciousness being the experience of thought, mind, body, whatever is appearing. All experience comes back to pure observation, and observation does not qualify itself by what it sees, yet it remains the experience of everything that is arising, being seen. This is a paradox. So this is the only, can only be known through this meditation, through awareness, being aware of itself. Okay. Very important lesson, very important science, part of the science of consciousness. Yet it's so easy to do. So easy to do. It's just that in the beginning, there's a feeling of a feeling of counterintuitive, getting used to awareness being the experience, identifying yourself as awareness and being the experience of all of your forms, all of your thoughts, anything, any patterning that comes from your forms, anything that's coming up. It takes getting used to allowing what you see, everything that you see. The experience itself is in the observation, nowhere else. Not even in the forms. The forms don't have intelligence. They don't have a separate intelligence. And so that I thought that falls away, that attachment, when that falls away, that gives us the illusion of personal experience. Now we just experience. And in the beginning, it can feel discombobulating, or it can feel sort of counterintuitive. But it's awesome. It's incredible. And for the first time, you come to know yourself. You know, when I say come to know yourself, I'm talking about the personal self, the one's ability to think, to feel, physical ability. You know, one comes to know ability without attachment, which is very liberating, very honest. For the first time, you feel an honesty that one doesn't have to mentally or emotionally react to anything going on in the body mind. One can just be in the body mind. One can just observe and be the experience, and intuitively move as that being in this body. See. We'll go through it. We'll go through what it's like waking up, identifying yourself as awareness without attribute, how that flows, how that understands what the ego was, what it was doing, how the ego stole experience turned it into personal experience, how this illusion worked. And it is to be understood, the only thing to be understood, because it's the only thing that can come in and claim your experience and sort of show you that there's still something in a pattern that needs to be burned through or seen through. You know, patterns don't awaken, they're only ever seen and directly experienced by consciousness. But don't forget, it was consciousness in the beginning that separated from knowing itself to instead think a body mind and relate from a body mind, where it developed. And I thought that consisted of an inner consideration, I, and an external consideration of seeing everything else as other, creating this duality. See? And there's still that tendency in the patterns, because it's that inner and outer consideration that has formed your character, your personality, your habits, your patterns. So when awareness awakens and it itself is the experience, that attachment does fall away, but there's still hidden attachments in the patterning itself. They'll come up and they won't match the experience of consciousness. It will pull to separate into a mental or emotional reaction to the pattern. That's all it is. Because the mental and emotional reaction to the pattern is the internal external consideration. It's the ego. So it's a dynamic, nothing more. And it's okay. One can observe that, and it's really okay.